Hey everyone, and welcome to another edition of BBTV. And as we're about to take on Newcastle United tonight in our United States tour, and our squad's still not complete, still waiting for the likes of Moyes Crusader to complete the squad. In this video, I'm going to be asking the question: should we play the patient game with Moyes Crusader, or should we just pay up what Brighton want and get him in the squad straight away? So, after two great results, 9 goals in 2 games, we now, the tour takes us on to play against Newcastle United. And hopefully another high-scoring game. They drew 3-3 in their last game against Aston Villa. So if we can, get some more goals, because it's been an exciting tour. Let's be fair. We've seen 9 and 3, 12 goals so far in 2 games. That's what we want as a Chelsea supporters. We want entertainment. We want to see goals, especially after last season. So, anyway, we're looking at our squad and we're seeing a lot of younger players, and there's rumours that a couple of them may go out on loan. We've seen good performances from your Andre Santoses, your Caicedos, but there's one player who's the transfer saga of the season. There's always one transfer saga, and this is the Moyes Crusader deal, which is dragging on and 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 on. And the thing is, in today's reports, Chelsea are saying 80 million is their ceiling. They're not going to go above 80 million. Brighton are holding out for 100 million. So there is a little bit of a stalemate going on at the moment. So I think it's a case of who blinks first. And that's got our fan base a bit twitchy. And a lot of our fan base are saying, you know what, just pay the money and be done with it. But the thing is, I'm asking, is that a wise decision to pay the money and be done with it? A lot of people are talking like it's their money. Looking at it more sensibly and from a financial point of view. And I'm hearing nonsense of, let's just throw the money. If they want 100 million, give them 100 million so that the deal is done straight away. And with no consideration for other transfers that we may need to complete. We've got people in there now who are looking at the books, looking at the finances, and if it was viable, then they've proved that they can splash the cash before. We know the amount of money we spent on Enzo Fernandez, that we do it. Okay, albeit it was on the last day of the window, but we need to be, as I said, really careful with our finances. Okay, some people may point to the fact that we've just recuperated, how much have we got back? 253.9 million pounds, and there's more to come. So hopefully, if Lukaku stops being an idiot and just goes to Saudi or wherever, there's another 40 million, at least 40 million pounds to be had there. Let's talk about Conor Gallagher going for 50 million, and let's talk about Chalobah going. So there are more outgoings. Ziyech as well. How much we'll get for him, I don't know. But potentially we could be getting in another 60, 70 million pounds. But to put that all into context, last season we spent 524 million pounds, and we only recuperated 58.17 million pounds. So that is at a loss of 466.22 million pounds. So that's a lot of money. So even with the 253 million pounds we've got from this transfer window over the last couple of seasons, we're still down by some 200 million. So as I said, the accountants are going to be looking at the books and finding out what's possible and what's not possible, because we don't want to be in a situation where we are getting in, breaching financial fair play rules. Okay, some may argue that we're not in the Champions League, but it can be carried over. So even if we're not in the Champions League and we break financial fair play rules, if we do qualify for the Champions League next season, then it can be carried over and we can still be penalised. And the thing is, talking about Champions League, the fact is, what also needs to be factored in is that we're not in the Champions League for next season. We still haven't got a shirt sponsorship, so that's another potential 80-90 million pounds loss on potential purchases that we could have had. So if you look at what we have been doing in the past, this is our biggest loss for a few by a distance. I think the season before we had 118 million pounds in arrivals, but we had 148 million pounds in departures. So that was a profit of 30 million pounds. And we tend to have like a loss followed by a profit, a loss followed by a profit. Because the season before it was 247 million point two in transfers, and we only had 57.17 million pounds coming in. The season before that, 45 million pounds we bought players in for, and we sold players for 157 million. So that's a massive profit of over 100 million pounds. So you can see the sort of model that we have. You know, spend big one season, the next season we have a recuperate, and then that sort of balances out the financial fair play because it's done over the period that it's done. Kind of balances it out. Okay, the owners were they were sensible in the way that they did the contracts. So sensible that UEFA deemed this as a loophole, and then they put measures in place because we're handing out these long 8-9 year contracts. So as far as autonomisation goes, it was spread out over a longer period of time. That being said, though, we are still we're still kind of have to be careful with how we spend our money. And it brings me on to Newcastle, actually, because the fact is that we're playing Newcastle. Newcastle are actually the richest club in football, with 600 billion pounds, I think it is, that their owners have. So if it was that simple, then they could go out and buy Mbappe. Obviously, Mbappe is the talk of the town at the moment with the massive bid from the Saudis. So Newcastle could blow them out the water and have that bid. Why? So some people are saying, okay, the Saudis are offering 300 million pounds for him. So what's happened to them? They're not involved in financial fair play. Financial fair play has only been put in for European football to stop people from spending more than they had. And the Saudi league has been sponsored by the Saudi government. That's why they can afford to spend these big amounts of money. But even Newcastle, if you hear Eddie Howe talking a lot in his press conferences, he's always talking about having to be sensible with the finances, and they haven't gone crazy with the money because they haven't built up a lot of finances in the past through not being in Europe and languishing down the bottom of the table before the Saudis came and took over. So if we do splash out a lot on Moyes Crusader, that may not leave us with money to strengthen in other areas. And a lot of our fan base are saying how weak we are in a lot of areas that need to be addressed. So, and that's why I think that other deals have not been taken place yet, because they want to gauge how much they spend on Caicedo, and that would have a knock-on effect of how much money we have left in the pot to spend on other players. So I'm sure there's a budget that for player sales for this season, and they have to be strict and adhering to this particular budget. What makes me laugh as well from our fan base is because a lot of them are saying, but we're spending all this money on, they call them the kindergartens, the younger players, the likes of the Paezes, the Caicedos, the Andre Santoses of this world. But the thing is, the reason why we're buying these players now is to stop us avoiding these big auctions in the future. Because if you look, Moyes Crusader, he was bought for 4 million. Yeah, 4 million pounds Brighton spent for him. And now they're looking at 100 million. That's a profit of a whopping 96 million. Had we had these scouts before and they bought Caicedo for say 4 or 5 million, then that will save us from having to spend big in the future. Same as Enzo Fernandez. The overall package for him was 18 million, and we ended up spending over 100 million pounds for him. So when you look at the Paezes, who everyone's talking about as the next big thing out of South America, if you're looking at the Caicedo, he looks good already. If you're looking at Andre Santos, again, he looks like somebody who's going to be good. I love the look of Angelo, I think, superb. So that's what we're doing. We're looking at that market and trying to bring in these players before they become the next big thing, and then we have to end up splashing loads and loads and loads of money on these players. So guys, your turn now. Put your comments in the section below and answer me these questions. What would you do? 3 choices. Would you A, walk away from the deal, be patient and stay till the end and try and get him at the price you want him for, or just pay the money now to get him in as soon as possible? Those are the 3 options for you. Stick it in the comment section below, and don't forget, as always, to like, subscribe, turn on post notifications to be notified every time I make a video. So take care. Bye bye.